Welcome once again to another edition of the Brosis Empowerment Hour. I am your host, Darwin. Viewers and subscribers, I want to say thank you for your support and for taking the time out to be a part of the program and to help this to be a success. We want to say our gratitude is with you. Now, today we want to talk with one of the stalwarts who helped to put Russies where they are now in terms of the legacy of football. And he goes by the name of Norman Dewey Reid. A lot of persons may not know him, but start after today, you will not be saying those words. So I want to say, Mr. Dewey Reid, welcome to Rusty's Brosis. How are you? Introduce yourself and let's get into it.
Yes, greetings to all who is on this platform, live, and who will be watching it sometime later. This is Norman Reid. Regiment called me Dewey. Went to overseas from 1974 until 1978. Yeah, this I and I that.
Yes, in a nutshell. Dewey, when we talk about a couple of weeks ago, we were talking to Mr. I call him Chap. Some persons call him Judge. Some persons call him Mr. Wallace.
Yeah,
They have 1,000,001 names for him. But you want us to talk about your early years before we go into that because you have a wide history. So let's talk about your early years. Where you're from, which school you went to, up until, and we can launch into the history that you have to share with us.
Okay, all right. I was born at the Noel Holmes Hospital, just across from top school of Rosie there.
Yes.
Yeah. And I grew up in Lucy, Miller's Drive to be exact. In fact, I am Linton Stewart with a call Conk.
Yes.
He was my neighbor. Just across the yes, and as a little youth, we used to all play football together, right in at the square there. If you know Miller's Drive, we used to have a little
roundabout, yes.
Yeah, and we have a little light. So we were afforded to play at night,
Yes,
so
yes.
Yeah, man, that's where we grew up. But then Barnes grew up, went to Lucy Primary School, and then from Lucy Primary School now, we transitioned to Hanover Secondary School because at the time, I never passed the common entrance and whatever say. So we were sent to Hanover Secondary School.
Yes,
but
yes.
Yeah, during that time still, I personally, I just take education as, man, we are going to school and enjoy myself. And, we're not to take it too serious until we start getting to, like about 14-year-old, we don't understand. I said, no, this education thing, we have to take it serious or else, boy, we're not going to reach nowhere,
Yes, yes.
Yes, from there, so now we start, to take the education serious. Never really know what I wanted to do.
Yes.
But I just decided, say, you know what, I'm going to do something. But my main thing growing up, I love to read. I always been reading comics, and there's a series of book called Are the Boys. There's no Are the Boys that came out that I don't read them.
Frank and Joe.
Yeah, man, I read every Are the Boys because after a while I say, I think I want to be a journalist.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I start read, and English. English was one of my favorite subject at school. So, I started to read. I read every newspaper. I read anything that is written. I read it as long as I can understand it. I read it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very well. So, talking about that, you're just tipping the iceberg right now because you're talking just briefly about your early history. So, in that little section, there's like your mini stadium in that little roundabout where the one light was, I remember, right by Army School. It's like a mini stadium. Man. Everybody sat there on the roundabout and have fun all night.
Yeah. And it's like, what really it was, it's like you see at that little venue, most of the man you will, if you interview certain man, you'll always hear the same names keep coming over and over. And
John
Aaron
Campbell.
Samuels, Danny
Yes,
Boy,
Harry Samuels, Danny Boy.
yeah,
Yes.
Mark Chambers, Plug, Peter Gashier, Worm, all of them names that keep popping up because we all from the same little era there. So all of us play together, we play together, and so most man always, depending on the age, we end up always either play some form of competition together. So some man playing at an older age, but we always, all of us basically play together in some form or the other, So it's the same set of man. Everywhere you go, it's the same set of man,
Yes, of course, because you have had it goes without saying that the Samuels family, they played a very pivotal role in the development of football in Hanover, and Rossies to a smaller extent, Rossies, but to Hanover to a wider extent. You were also a part of it because you were there with them.
Well, I'm going to tell you this now. You see, from my history and my recollection, there's like three families, and I'm going to use a scale now, who persons, families who have three or more members who play for Rossies. They had my family, which is Reid, because myself and two of my brothers play. My eldest.
Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you and your family, with your development there. Let's talk about you and the captain, because you mentioned that earlier when we were having a conversation.
No, well, I never kick Captain Rossies.
Yes, you told me that. You did say that.
Yeah, but it was my brothers, and then but I'm gonna say this: yesterday Samuel's family, I think they are like the most influential set of family that has ever represented Rossies, because it's like every season, every couple of seasons, you hear about a Samuels in it. So them were very influential, and then you have like the Livingston family. They also,
Yes,
and then the
I heard about that too.
Yeah, then the Reid, which is me, which is like three of us,
Yes.
So
who was before you as a captain? He's your older brother. Who was that?
Yes, my older brother. He was captain from 1974, 75. And I joined the Dakar Cup team 1974 along with some man like Swelly and Dan Miller, and someone named Geppo and Clyde Fletcher, them call him Maxi Barry Steer, which is a relative of John Campbell, and so some other man, other man, because this. Let me tell you now my history of football now. Because originally from the first, most of us, some of us went to Anniversary, but during that time, during my time, we were, although the schools weren't merged as that, we were allowed to play. Like, but we only play in the junior competition with it, they allowed us to play the junior, like the under 13 and under 14 or whatever it's called at the time. So although we were going to Anniversary, we were still allowed to play for Rossies. But then now in 1974, now most of us we did what they call a 9th grade achievement test.
I remember that.
So we were successful now. So we transitioned from Anniversary to Rossies High School, and that is where I think this football renaissance really started, because before that, Rossies used to be like, when them go up the road, when them coming back from Moby and Manchester, so much you get.
It was expected, right?
That word winning was never in the vocabulary. You understand me? That not coming out. So the whole project was started by a past Rossi student, which is his name was Lancelot Livingston. He started the world thing in 1974 when he got most of us over from Anavasek and into to Rossi now. So now we started become competitive, you know what I mean? Because in those days, there in the Doncaster Cup, you only had 4 zones. The Western zone, the Western zone is include Rossi's, Cornwall, Mannings, York Castle. That's it, finish. And then you have the zone or another zone with States and Monroe, you know what I mean? So them two, they always fight out for that zone. And then the other zone, you have the zone with the Clarendon College and very technical. So those two fight for that zone. And then the Eastern zone, now it was Dean Tillard and Titchfield. And so that's it. And yeah, we didn't have the proliferation of high schools that you have now. So there was no quarterfinal. You win your zone, you go to semi-final, and from semi-final, you go to final, you know?
Yes. So can you remember any of those memorable moments or years when, you know, you had that good team, you know, how far did you go? How far did the teams go?
All right. I'm going to, I can't start from 74, you know? Yes. 74, we started to become competitive against Cornwall.
Cornwall College.
We gave them, Cornwall was our nemesis, you know. Anytime we beat everybody, we beat the York Castle, we beat the Mannings, Upper Cornwall, different story that. Different story.
Even now, until today.
Yeah, because you see, Cornwall is a boarding school, you know. So Cornwall don't even need outside spectators, you know, because those boys, from the moment you turn up at Cornwall and intimidation starts. If you're not strong, you know, and you lose already. You know, so from 1974, now, we gave them a good run for the money. Yes. And then the 1975, now, a past Cornwallian named Steve Buckner. He came down to Rusty now and say, all right, I will continue this project. So when he came down now, he brought some man from Cornwall who these guys were having some issues with Cornwall. Like, for example, one man named Light Stanberry. He was a Rasta youth, and Cornwall College nothing to no Rasta them days there. So Rossi's was the first school, to my knowledge, who accepted Rasta in them school. At them time.
That's a big step, right?
Yeah, man, it's a big step, man. So Steve Buckner came down now, and we started this project 1975, and then so the battles always be with we and Cornwall, because we beat up York Castle, beat up Mannings. Cornwall now is the thing. I remember one game now. That's 1975, I think the first time we go and beat Cornwall now. Cornwall had a youth named S90.
S90.
yeah. In those days, you know, that was the motorbike of choice for the smaller
man. Yeah, man, I remember.
Yes, and so Mr. Steve Buckner now, and we call Mr. B, told my brother, say, anywhere S90 go, you will follow him. Because S90 is a danger man.
Yes.
See? Half time, when Mr. B talking to us, my brother Vernon Reid, him stand up over the other side. I wait for S90. Because as S90 come back, him will stand up. We won the game there 1-0. Yeah? But
that was 1975.
Yeah, but you see, when we go back up a Cornwall, boy, the intimidation start again. You know, the man them from Gully and although it improved, no, because we start to have some man from Moby, we kind of start get some little man from over Gully, you know, come on our side because some man from over there, you know. So it go on until, but the year, you know, when we conquered Cornwall now was 1977.
Yes.
When the first time Russies went to the semi-final of the Doncaster Cup, 1977, because we were celebrating 200 years as an high school.
70, yes, interesting,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was 200 years as being an high school, an institution. So we beat Cornwall up there, we beat them at overseas. And so, you know, because a little was you know, envy in some of the man from Montego Bay, because them start say, oh, yo, Steve Butler, oh, you care, you know, you're gone down, so go and come teach, man, how to beat you up and all them things. I use a Cornwall, man, you know. But it's football and this business, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we went to.
So you remember?
Yeah, yeah. So, are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, man. So we went to the semi-final. We played against States. At Watson Taylor Park, we drew 0-0. And then we went down to St. Elizabeth Technical and we lost 1-0. But that semi-final was really a plot, you know what I mean? A sinister plot, because at the time we had, you know, Sheridan Samuels, we call him Worm. He's now the mayor of Lucy.
Mayor of Lucy, yes.
Yeah, he was our main striker. He was a man scoring all the goals because he's speed, he has strength, and playing against State Zone, you know. I remember this thing. I played a through ball to him, and this guy, man, this center from States, man, Peter Parkin, he gave him a vicious tackle. If it was in these days, he would be red carded and probably be banned. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then they just roughed her up, and then we went to States and we just lost that, you know, that strike force that we had, because our bench wasn't that as strong, you know. You know, we have competent players, but then we missed, you know, a lot of opportunities playing at home. So, you know, we paid the price. But States had people like, we were playing against, you know, people who are like national players, are, you know, Noel Sweet Smith, Peter Parkin, a guy who used to play for Arnett Girls named Che, and what is his name now? He's the assist, the goalkeeper coach. Yeah, no, the goalkeeper, no, Donzel wasn't playing. The goalkeeper coach for Spider-Man. What is his name again? What is it again? His son is the coach of St. Elizabeth Technical now. He was the goalkeeper. So these guys are, you know, but we held them, and it was just unfortunate. It just wasn't our day, you know. It wasn't our day.
So who are some of the players that were from Montego Bay that Mr. Bookma took on the team?
All right. Initially, let me tell you now, the first set of guys that came down was, I'll tell you, Light Stanberg, Rasta, and then there was my next virgin name, Michael Turner, and our next man here, what is his name? Anthony Lewis. I don't remember. Michael Lewis, we call him Tish. And then after that first set, then we saw man like Stephen Thompson, we call him Zabo.
Zabo, yes.
Yeah, a man, Osman Jackson, Reginald Crew, who else again? Our next youth, I don't remember him really, but we call him Yanni, was a slim little youth. And our next virgin name, Kingsley Vernon. Kingsley Vernon, him father was some politician in Montego Bay. Yeah, the man there. Remember them man there distinctly. But our team in the 1977 team that qualified, we had in goal we had Alric Arton. We call him Doggy.
Yes.
Yeah, and at right back is only one person that can be there. In the name Harris Samuels, call him Danny Boy. He played that position from 1974 until he left school. So if you came to Rossi's at the time and say, oh, yeah, go play that Costa Cup and you want to play right back, you ain't getting no game, because that was the first position that was sealed. Nobody else could play there.
Right,
so we had him, and then we have Reginald Crew as center half, and then Elvis Miller, who is Swelly, who was the captain. Yes. And at left back, we had Ross Livingston. That's one of the Livingston family. Right midfield, we had Osman Jackson. Then we had inside right mid, because we played 4-4-2. We had Glenford Hall, we call him Yaki. Then Stephen Thompson as left inside midfield, and then I played left midfield. And then up front, we had Sheridan Samuels. And then we had a brethren, good friend of mine. He came from Dewey Park, named Osman Peter.
Right, Peter, I remember that guy. Ozzy Peter, that's the one?
Yeah, man. Said Ozzy Peter, man. Yeah. Okay. And then some of the man, I don't remember every man on the bench, but I remember John Campbell was part of the side. Leslie McCleary, and I can't remember. We had a reserve goalkeeper name. When again? Burrell, something like that. Burrell. I don't remember his first name. Yeah, but basically that's what and we played a very good game, because we only lost that one game against States, that right through the season practice. We never lost a game until that game.
So to 1977, then it's fair to say that the 200 year, when you're celebrating the 200 year of Rossi's, then that was one of the most successful years during the 70s, because you made it to semi-final.
Yes, because in 1978, when I left school, the guys went to the quarterfinal, but that was when you had more schools entering. So they had to, they include you in more schools. So they had like a quarter, then a semi-final, and we lost. I remember that, I cried although I wasn't playing, because we lost 1-0 to Clarendon College in the rain down at States. A very, let's say, a dubious penalty. That's all I can say, a dubious penalty. But, it's all in the game. It's all in the game.
Yes, it's a part of the game. So, it's so funny, because you talk about that, but you left at what? 78?
Yes, well, I left at 78 June.
So, you mentioned earlier about Steve Buckner using the same strategy where he would have somebody mark S90.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can recall quite well, 1983, he went back to that same plan where the coach used the same plan to have Peterborough marked. What was they playing again? But that final where Peterborough, somebody was marking Gainer Blocks, and wherever Gainer Blocks was, the person was there with him all the time. That 1983, the Costa Cup final at Jared Park.
You see Steve Buckner still, I got to tell a man, that man as a coach, very strategic in his planning, in very, and when he has a plan, he make us practice it to the T. You have to learn it and say, this is how it goes. Whatever, this is your job, and you don't worry about what next man's supposed to. This is your job, and this is what you have to do, and you have to just follow it to the T. And I remember a game we played a practice game against that team, and we won 6-0. And Mr. B was upset. And guess why? He said, no, when you catch small team and to beat them, you must beat them heavily.
Yes,
you don't beat them on 6 and make them look like them have a chance. And and the next day he punished us as training. We don't have to do extra hard work. He punished us. But that was all part of the thing, Mm-hmm.
Oh, you see, you talk so passionately about the football because it's a part of you. And just remind us of, you said you had two brothers, but two of them were captain for Russies, but you were not, because you were
Yeah.
in the middle, you know.
Yeah.
Baji, was Baji your brother too?
Yeah, yeah, man. He's the older one. I played with him. I come after him. Yeah.
Okay.
And
But you know,
and then they have the smaller one. Them call him Parties, Stanford Reid. He played sometime in the 80s. I'm not sure when.
okay. Okay. Now, that was your football early years, so you know you had a great run there. So now you're leaving Russies now. You're becoming a man now. What was your next challenge that you took on?
Well, yeah, the thing about leaving when I left Russies now, to be honest, as I told you, I wanted to be a journalist. See?
Right. Yes, you did.
And when I looked at all the things, I said, "Why journalists?" I check out Karamak, and I said, "Why Kingston that don't have no family, no relative, no hope here. How that I go? Yeah, approach the whole lady, you know, so that means boarding, and you know, we don't have no money for that. So and that plan gets scrapped. No, I was drafted in sports, SDC to SDC to in sports. So I spent a year at in sports, you know, doing some coaching, and you know, which is one of the things I really loved. But during that time, I try pursue higher education. So I say, all right, I see there was some gentlemen who really had faith in me and want to, and they thought that I had the potential to be a good coach or a physio or something. So that is Anthony Marks and a man named Michael Kelly. He used to teach a Russians to former Russian man. So they tried to, you know, get me into GC faster. Yeah, everything was going good again. But guess what happened now? That same little problem come up again. That little guy named money.
Money
come again. Parents can't afford that.
Yes.
I missed that again because of the same money thing. So after I finished my stint with in sports now, I started to move to I moved to Kingston because a certain little things did go on, and I moved to Kingston, you know, back and forth in 1979 and thing, you know. So, and then in that said bread, they said Michael Kelly and Anthony Marks, their man is still look out for fair. And it was later on in 79 I hear about this thing about going to Cuba and all them thing there. Yeah.
Okay.
So I say, all right, Cuba. But then there was a little situation in Jamaica where 1979-80 was the election year. So I think the trip would have been 1980.
Right.
I say, listen to me now. I live in Kingston at them time, and I go all of the hot spots them. I go Waterhouse because I'm a musician or work with East Kingston, with everywhere. So I see how the politics are going. I know that come the 30th of October, 1980, there'll be a change of government. And right. I don't know what would have happened because, you know, during them time we have the Cold War and all of them things there. So I refused the offer and to go to Cuba because I say, I don't know if when election done and I go over there and, you know, them, you know, something go on and I can't come forward.
Come back to Jamaica. Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
yes.
So that was the offer that was real that I know I could take on that one, but I just refuse it. And then I will start more into the music, and I say, you know what, let me just go and stick with this music because what happened to the music now, I started to meet some the man and what I used to read about. And when I look on the record, I see said, you know, the slide on bars and the Answer Collins, the Peter Tosh, and the this and that. I mean, I say, yeah. Anyway,
so hold on.
Yeah,
so how old were you at that time? Because Slide on Bar and Peter Tosh and these guys were celebrities a long time ago. And in the
Yeah,
80s,
man.
they were already world-renowned people. So
Yeah,
how old
man.
were you at that time?
Listen, when I started to meet them, man, I was like 20 years old.
Okay, a young man still. Okay.
Yeah, man, young. But I'm going to tell you all this. You see, I end up in music, but music was not really my choice. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was like destiny, because when I went to university, and my first year, in fact I started. There's a music was part of the curriculum, so I got music
Yes.
class. But when I got music class, I said, no, sir, this music thing is not my thing, because when I got music
Yeah.
class, I thought music when I go and you just pick up instrument and play.
So
And them
you
said,
didn't
no, man,
understand that music had
no, I never
theoretical
understand
part
that
and
part
physical
about
part.
music. So I said, no, sir, I'm not going to go learn about no scale, and I come to play instrument. The
Yeah,
teacher
the
said, no, it's
bars
not. So
and
you have to
clef and
learn.
all these things.
Yeah,
Treble
you have to
clef.
learn
That type of-
A, I said, no. So
Yeah.
I left the music part. No, I said I do no music, and I went to do like it was called commerce. So it's a mixture of accounting and everything to do with some
Anything about
money
maths.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and
Account.
money
Yeah. Yeah.
management. So it's
Economics. Yeah.
that I don't. But I get drafted into music now because a farmer, Rossi's student also. He was the nephew for Jimmy Cliff.
Jimmy Cliff.
Yes,
Okay.
man.
But at
The
this time,
same.
you still haven't met Jimmy Cliff yet, but you just were getting into that phase.
Yeah, no, I don't meet him yet, no. Because you what I
Right.
know. Is this him never, you know, him leave school a year before me. So him I work with him uncle. But it's like it
Okay.
reach a stage now where him uncle want to carry him on tour with him. But him uncle, the Jimmy Cliff said, listen, I can't carry you, know, unless we are gonna need somebody to take care of the business.
Yeah.
So him keep on a search for me, you know, them time that I between St. Thomas most time and me pop in come a Lucy, and him see a next Rossi's man now named Bruce Allen. Can used to play that as a cup, and Bruce finally find me and say, yo, Newton look for you, you know. I say, for what? I said, well, hey guys, Jimmy I got carry him on tour anymore. So somebody for who him can trust and
Yes.
run the business. I say, all right, cool. I go see how it going on. I'm gonna go up there and check him, and him introduce me to Jimmy and say, yo, I'm virgin this and thing. And I tell you this, yes, I don't know enough man don't know Jimmy Clifton. He's not a man who just run in and accept people and way there. Very skeptical.
So you get to meet Jimmy Cliff at that young age. You had no clue did you know who he was at that time?
No, listen, yes, I tell you the truth. Apart from knowing the movie How Did They Come, me never
How
know.
did they come?
The man on me was more gravitated towards was Peter Tosh.
Peter Tosh. Okay.
Yeah, man, Peter Tosh, because Peter Tosh, he'd have a song, You Can't Blame the Youths. And that was my favorite song.
Yes.
So I meet Jimmy now, and you what happened now? I start tell myself, say, me's a honest youth and me's a things, and the people them start believe it. Because in music, it's honesty and integrity is two of the most crucial thing. Because listen, most time I deal with people, I never ever met them, and them send money come here if you do this, you do that. And I sometimes if I see the person them stand up in a crowd, no, I can't tell you say is that man, because I don't know them. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
just to before you go on to there, we want to talk about that moment now when you're getting to meet Jimmy Cliff, because you never heard about him, you never know who he was. What was it like? What was that going through your head at that time?
Well, you know, I say, well, when that man introduced to Jimmy and Jimmy talk, I said to myself, say, it's like, you know, to be honest, it's like I gone over the moon now, because I say, what is me get myself into? at 21-year-old, no, 20, I go 21. The man never leave me with responsibility where me never manage a business that for me born. You understand me? So a man I go tell me now, so you have to go manage this and these are people money and this and I mean at them time I don't know nothing about music. I don't know nothing about me. I'm gonna say you put on a record and you spin it and it play.
Just play it. Right.
Yeah, but the intricacies that going into making that record where you see the final touch. I never know anything about them things.
Yes.
And you guess that I have to fast track everything.
Yes.
Because the man, them will leave, shortly, go up on tour, and
yes.
The business have to go on because I have to make sure, say, records are being, the records are being made, and I have to talk to who to make sure, say, the record I play upon radio. I have to go know the man, them at the record shop, if say, yo, them have an adequate supply of the music and all of them things. And guess what happened now? It's during them time, I can't drive, So everything is boss business.
Yes. So you just take it as it comes.
Yeah, man, I have to take it.
You didn't know about music because you remember you didn't have the theory about the music, but now you're thrust into this atmosphere where you give him the responsibility with this big superstar. Well, Jimmy wasn't yet, but he was heading to become a superstar. And, he do a lot of tours. And you are there now ready to take over the running of the affairs.
No, hold on, I'm going to have to correct you, you see.
I want you to.
You just said Jimmy wasn't a superstar. We are talking about 1918.
Okay.
Jimmy was a superstar because I remember, enough people don't know, Jimmy went to apartheid South Africa to perform in 1918, May 1980.
That was in Soweto.
Yeah, and Joburg. And consequently, unto that, he was banned. Yeah, he was banned, and we had to, me and the said, Merit, we are write letters, and that time Mr. Siaga was as the Prime Minister, and Babs Granger the Minister, and we have to go over there and write letter. And anyway, the ban was lifted because it was explained because he told them that in his contract, he said to them, so listen, if I am coming to South Africa, it has to be multiracial concert. He's not doing a concert to white people, it has to be multiracial. Yes. So that's what the ANC and everybody said, no man, he's okay. So Jimmy was, if I lost those videos because I lent it to somebody and I don't know, I wasn't there, but I got the videos and things. So yeah, he was Jimmy was a superstar in Africa and in Brazil, in fact, in South America, because when I started to go South America with him, it's crazy,
So when you're going there, what capacity were you traveling with him as?
All right, when I started to travel with him, I was the road manager. So
road manager, okay.
Yeah. So my duty now at that time is I have to secure all work permits, visa for every musician. Yeah. Make sure all equipment that is needed. When I have to check the rider and say, yeah, this is what we need, this is what we want, wait. And then when we get there, I am the first man who have to go to the venue to make sure that everything is okay.
Right.
Dressing room, this, that, and because I had a policy where I tell my musician and my crew that they don't speak to promoters. I am the only person who is allowed to speak. So if they have an issue, they speak to me and I speak to the guy. We don't want too much people be talking.
Yes.
So I was the road manager and actually his personal assistant, because if he's in a hotel and there's no food that he eats, he just has to call me on the road and say there's no food here. He doesn't have to tell me what he wants because I knew what he eat. He ate this and he doesn't eat that. So he just, and everything is good,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let me just check with the chat right now because you have a lot of followers who you might not know these guys, but they are a lot younger than you, but they have a lot of respect for you. Let me see. Here we have Centipede. Centipede said that you said you are one of the persons who helped to set the trend for us younger guys, because in Lucy especially, because they learned so much from you and your brother Stanford Party Reid growing up in Gardens. That's what Centerpiece said. And then you have Gavin Brevet Curry, who played for us too. He said he's just giving you some respect and saying that enough respect, elder. So these persons have these respect for you, even though they were just playing music. I mean, playing football, but it transcends now to you as an elder. So keep going on talking about your music.
Yeah.
So now you're the road manager for Jimmy Cliff, the superstar, traveling all over the world.
Yes, that relationship lasted for 23 years.
As a road manager for Jimmy Cliff?
Yeah, man.
23 years. Wow.
Yeah. Although that relationship has ended, but we still have, we talk regularly. Up to last week was the last time I spoke to him, because I am one of the few persons who have a direct connection to him, a direct line, a telephone number. He has a telephone number that only certain people have it. So yeah, man, 23 years. Yes,
go ahead.
In that 23 years, I've been almost every corner of the earth, more than once.
I was just coming to that, because when we were talking and having a conversation, you practically touch every single continent on this earth.
Yeah, man. I've been to
Africa.
I've been to Africa many times. Last time I checked, it was 6 times in Africa, from South Africa to North Africa to East, to West Africa. I've been to Japan several times, Saudi Arabia, Guam, Hawaii, Fiji, Australia, New Zealand, New Caledonia, Reunion Island, Madagascar, I said Tahiti, Fiji, Bora Bora, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Suriname, all over Europe.
Germany, France, Italy.
Germany, France, Sicily. I mean, yeah, man, Sicily, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, just think about that for a moment. You traveling all over the world just because music is taking you these places where you don't even speak the language. I mean, do you speak another language?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. You see, the first time, because listen, when I went to primary school, I learned Spanish. Yeah, so Spanish was one of the first language that I knew. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it in GC, because there was an incident with my younger brother. He was still going to primary school, and there was an incident with him and a teacher. And I took it upon myself to confront the teacher and say, yo, my brother told me he was defending himself and whatever. So I confronted her, kind of, I wasn't a bad guy still, and I just tell her, I said, no, you don't do that and thing. But these days, at this time, I'm going to Rossi's, Yes. And then I in my Spanish class one day, and I see this lady who is the principal of Rossi's, Miss Enid Gonzalez.
Yes.
She came into my class with the principal and pointed me out and said, that is the man who raised up my teacher. And then took her outside and, reprimand me and thing. And I go back in the Spanish class, and the Spanish teacher look at me and say, yo, I'm not teaching you, But I thought it was a joke. So then, and the next session, she came. She said, no, didn't I tell you that I'm not teaching you? If you stay in here, I gone. And she left. And I said, well, but watch it. I can't make the rest of the youth them suffer because of I. So I just stopped go Spanish. I stopped go Spanish class. And then, so when I start go to Europe now, I remember my first time in Spain, we were at this TV station in Madrid, and we see a nice girl as you, and we talk and talk. And after when I reached my Spanish lyrics done. I can't remember not more. And the argument just get. And then you see, after that, I decided, say, you know what, I'm going to have to learn some of these languages. So I learned a little German. I can help myself in that German. Most of them I can read more than how I can say it. So I can help myself in German, Portuguese, Spanish, and French.
Wow.
Don't ask me nothing in Japanese. All I can say is konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
That's it. Yeah. No, nothing more. But those 4 languages I can't help myself. And as soon as I get back into those zones and we are talking to the people, they all
comes again.
Come back, you know. But I can read more than how I can talk them.
Wow. Now, you know, listening to you talking about all these places that you've been, and you in the capacity as the road manager for a superstar, mega superstar like Jimmy Cliff, world renowned. He's been to all these places, and music transcends to all boundaries. And to see you in this capacity, it's amazing now that even for me right now, talking to you, I feel, you know, it's a joy just to be talking to you, to know that, you know, you have been to all these places. So I want you to just share some of those experiences with us.
All right. My the first time I went to Brazil with Jimmy in 1990. We went up north to a place called Natal. And when we came off the plane and went through immigration, we could not go outside. Immigration said, you cannot go outside. They stamp our passport and send us back on the plane. And the bus had to come drive on the tarmac to get us off. Yeah. You see, the next day was the show. The first time I see 150,000 people is up there, so 150,000. I asked them, how much? It's 150,000 people.
In like, one concert?
Yes, man. When we go to Brazil with Jimmy, we play only stadiums.
Sold out stadiums most times.
Yeah, man. Only stadiums. We play stadiums, man. Because it's like, at the time, I'm telling you, Jimmy Cliff, and probably know, you know things that he's the biggest reggae artist in Brazil. Because when I go to Brazil, being with Jimmy Cliff, it opens every door for me. I just have to say, yo, I'm Jimmy Cliff, and everything else is become free. And then my other greatest moment was 1998 when Jamaica qualified for the World Cup.
Wow, in France, yes.
Yes. During that time, we got a contract with a liquor company over there called Reid. So we were contracted to play at every city that the games are played at.
Wow.
You know, so even the game in Paris, we played in it's called Republic Square, and as far as your eyes can see, there's people.
Wow.
And then I was fortunate enough I was given executive tickets and to go to the game, Jamaica versus Argentina. And I was sitting in the company of the Honorable Prime Minister, P.J. Patterson.
Wow.
Sepp Blatter, Michel Platini, you name all those guys. We were sitting, I was, went into the green room with these guys, drink champagne, do this. And guess what? It didn't cost me a cent.
You were part of the dignitary.
Yeah, man, a part of the dignitary group, man. I was there. I got to tell you a joke, when the game is halftime, I see some of my friends who travel from New York or outside of the fence calling to me, say, yo, I'm say, yeah, we can't help. And this is not Jamaica, we can't say, yo, let him, man. Yeah. It was great, it was great. Yes. Trust me, it was great fun working with Jimmy Cliff, because we played on stages where the normal Jamaican acts don't get to play, because these are like pop stage and jazz festival. It's not a reggae festival, It's pop and jazz and listen. we used to play like there's a festival that Quincy Jones started up in Montreux, that's in Switzerland.
Yes.
It's called the Montreux Jazz Festival. The only person I've never seen at that festival, I've been there many times, was Michael Jackson.
Wow.
But anyway, any act you name, I've seen them.
Wow.
Sitting down in the same green room with them, talking, and and they're what people don't get. These guys are ordinary people.
Wow.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Listening to you talking about that now, it's, I feel the same dignified. I am in a dignified moment now, just talking to you right now.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if it qualifies for that, but that's how I feel.
Let me tell you this, Virgin. You see, when I was going to school, I like geography, and when I looked at the places that I've been, I said, but these are places I only studied about while at school. I didn't. It was like a joy to be arriving in Japan. I've crisscrossed America many times. Many times.
Yes.
Many times. So I know, I've been to almost everywhere in America. Wow. And in Europe, You're
a true ambassador.
Yeah, man, and that is why I tell people, when you go out there as a Jamaican, in whatever sphere of life are you in, you have to remember that you're not representing yourself only. You're representing a nation and a people. Because when I'm out there, it's the amount of respect I get, not because of who I am only, but because I'm a Jamaican. And that word, Jamaican, is a powerful word. So we have to respect it. You know what I mean?
Brand.
Yeah, man. Brand name that.
So, let me just say this to you then, because you've reached to these heights, to be seeing people who are musical giants, superstars, mega superstars. We only see these people on television screens, videos, YouTube, you name it. Not many persons have had the opportunities that you had to be with those people, and being in concerts that are selling out over 100,000 people. I've never seen that in Jamaica before. Over 100,000 people in a concert.
No, I would have a population.
And to consider that you are from Hanover, Lucy, where Rossi's still is the main. Like somebody mentioned Tuesday night that it was like the gang leader or the area leader for Hanover, a main economic boost for Hanover. Now, what part in your own words, I want you to tell us, because that's a word of somebody else. In your own words, what part do you think Rossi's played then and is still playing now in the development of young persons?
Well, all right. For me personally, and for some of the brethren what I grew up with, and I can call them name later. Rossi's is an institution where it for me it prepared me even sometime, and without even me knowing and understanding, it prepared me for the world, because you see, Rossi's, as some people know it now, it wasn't Rossi's when me was a little boy, because you see, there was a little boy, people like me can't go Rossi's,
Yes.
Yeah, my skin too dark. Yeah, I not come from, Yeah. So Rossi's is a place where we have to respect that institution. It means a lot to me. You see, anytime in a town and a man, you have some people who come from when I born in a Kingston, and first thing they say, yeah man, I know where I come from, me go to school name Rossi's. But when a man say Rossi's, it's like you get more respect. Man,
yes,
Rossi's,
of course.
Yes, yeah, man. Yeah, man. So it's an institution that needs to be respected and put up on the pinnacle,
I agree. So, right now, did you have any whether it be during your time, well, you did talk about Rossi, so let's talk about your musical. Did you have any primary challenges that really, you struggled with during that time? Did you, because you weren't, say, formally trained to have to deal with all these things, but you handled it and you did well for over 2 decades? That's it's like a lifetime for some people, and you
No,
handle it very well.
well, honestly, right now, I'm in music now for like 40 years,
Wow.
40 years, and I can give you a list of all the man them who I've encountered with, and we have always have great relation, because you see, I grew up as a humble youth, and you see, there's certain things in life that I cherish. You see, honesty and
Yes.
integrity, as I tell you,
Integrity.
those
Yes.
and loyalty.
Yes.
I just believe in those things. I'm always loyal to any man that treats me the way how I need to be treated. You understand me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man. Loyalty is key. And so that's why, so sometimes guys, listen, you see, I go and sidestep a little way, but you see, there is someone in our group where I can never forget them. You see, you have Mark Chambers, see, them call him Plug. And you
Yes.
have a next man, them call him Sackit, with a Paul Chambers. So you know what says, Sackit and Plug must go together.
Yes. Yes.
Man and brother. And Ruan Gashier and Peter Gashier, John Campbell and Tony Marks. Because you see all of them bridging what I call, them man did better off than I and I. See? But guess what now? Because when I say better off, because them man they have something that we never have. The man have like the most, the man have fridge and TV. We don't have that. But you see, all of them man, what I call, there was one thread that bind all of us, and it's football. And to this day, all of them man, what we call Clifford Wallace. Yeah, all of them man. So all of us, all of them man, we still have that linkage. See it, and I just treat every man. And all the way a friend and a virgin. So what I say, even if you're bridging them and link now and everything, even if there's an issue and you're a man, a friend, you see a friendship, you must can call your friend and say, yo, but
Yes.
say that move there. Me not too like that move, because you see, a friend and your man trust one another. Yeah, man, I say, because I know a particular friend of mine and pass off now. And him used to deal with certain things. And the man look upon I and say, yo, youth, you see this thing? I mean, I talk about drugs now. He said,
Yes.
don't touch this, good for you, I try to leave it and can't leave it. So you don't touch it. So me respect them man as a friend, true friend, because you see someone will tell us, try it, man, it's nice.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you get hooked on it. So, that is what you call friendship and loyalty and
And
integrity,
talking about that, you also met Gregory Isaac.
Well, Gregory was my key brethren. Let me say key. Let me say like, it reached a stage where, Gregory had him had a habit. And because of that, some people might see a true apart with a man and think so. Gregory is the man I talk about, saying, look at me and tell me, say, this thing here, don't touch this thing here, leave it
Gregory
alone.
Isaac told you not to touch that thing.
Yes, man. Tell me personally, so don't touch it, because he want to try leave it and can't leave it. But it's because me and him was such a close friend now. I don't know if you know him history. One time him the dead by Tango L, and when him come forward, him call me I'm one of the first man him call and say, come check him. I'm go up at him house, and when I go up there, I see some ugly face man where the man introduced me and say, yo, you see this man, him just done the 20 years, and this man just do 30 years. And I look upon all of them and say, you see this youth, when time I see him, just take care, man. I might soldier this.
Yes.
Peter Tosh is also what our next man we can talk about when, do some things, you know what I mean, Peter Tosh. I can't name them. The Dennis Brown, you know, all of them, man, I've done tours as tour manager for all of them. Peter Tosh, Dennis Brown, John Wall, Frankie Paul, Coco T, Tony Rebel.
I mean, just about you name the person in music in Jamaica, you've been around them.
Sly and Robbie, all of them, you know. And one of the things about these brethren, I make sure I give the man them respect. So all of them man them respect I. You know, see, if from my name call, and the man them say clean. You know, see, yeah.
Yes. You know, you had a disappointment at one point when you went to Kingston, you were doing your own thing, then you came back to Hanover, to Lucy. And you had a disappointment running with somebody that it was totally unexpected. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, man, I have to give it, because I see, when I left Lucy in 1979, and I came back a few times in the 80s, because in the 80s there was, you know, the shortage of food. So I control the people them downtown. I know some people don't on locally anyway. So I make sure I say every 2 weeks I buy grocery and come give my mother. But then just before the election or so now, I came down one night and I was standing at the foot of Malcolm Heights. I talked to some virgin, and he's a man that come Jukai, you know, stick I up with gun, and I say, yo, why you deal with that? I say, yo, me no support no party, you know. And the man that make me know, say, no, me can't neutral, you know, me have in a gear. You understand me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
and I was so upset because, listen, remember me live at Kingston. I'm at Tivoli Gardens, with a Waterhouse, with a Bower Banks, with a Mountain View, and a man never yet asked me what is my name. I'm come on my own yard, and a man joke with a gun. Well, luckily, not never go on, but guess what I'm now? Would you believe me, sir, about 10 years later, come the man face and I know where he come from.
You could not forget that, man.
The man face, and you know which part me buck the man again. Cologne, Germany, you know. I mean, wow. I look at some of my brethren and say, yo, you know, sir, when we done over 1918, I brother they joke me, you know. But I'm glad say Germany it happened, because I know say if I did Kingston, I know say their man they not take it so easy, their man they would take him out. So I'm glad say
maybe you wouldn't even tell them to.
No, if I told me, no, me that tell them still about, you know, one of the things, the man, them respect me, them way they say, me tell them, say, no, it can't go on, no, it not go on. You understand me? Yeah, them way there. But, you know, it was very unfortunate because, I mean, we try me born and grow, and a man come joke with that town, we gonna me, that Kingston up and down, Tivoli Yard, parade north and south, and we never get that treatment there, you know. So I was very upset. And I tell
that didn't change you though, because let me look at this. I think Mr. Connell, he's one of the teachers, and Troy Malcolm, they just checked in. Troy saying, welcome Dewey to the Brosis Empowerment Night. He's saying that you and your brother Vernon, along with Horace Danny Boy Samuels, used to pull men in Kitty Brown bus to go to football games back then.
Man. Yeah. Hey, yeah, man. As Troy mentioned, I used to carry. We used to carry. Because it's true, my brother, the captain, Troy and my little brother, I end up going to see. We used to carry them the way from early days. Yeah, I make them, you know, make them feel the experience. You know what I mean? Because it's a try now. Try and man like me, try John Campbell, Clifford Wallace, and you know, Mark Chambers. A lot of we used to before we could go to Watson Taylor Park to play. Because Watson Taylor Park is not what it is. What it is now is not what it was then, because there was no space for us to play. Because there was too much people to play ball down there. So we used to play up at a place called, we used to call it Upper Mans, which is on Laurenton Avenue. So that bunch of we used to play this, because we can't go Watson Taylor Park. I don't space it down there. It's man, if a man like Shrimpy and Jim Brown and
Yeah.
all of them big man that play
Yes.
ball.
Yes.
So we end up. So all of us in another group they used to play together. And then when we're not playing, so we are run the art and girls right in front of the roundabout there. That's how we are play ball. You know, try and all of them man. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's interesting though, because a lot of persons, when I was going to primary school, I used to hear a lot of these guys, Centipede and some of those Arbor Campbell and Arbor Beckford, they would talk about that where they go and play football, and Wesley Brissett, that Miss Some of those younger Lucy guys to go and play ball up there. Now, Mr. Connell, he has something to say to. He said that also welcoming you to the Brosis live broadcast on the Empowerment Hour. And he said, I personally want you to know that your brother Stanford Reid was a gem, one of the humblest students during his stay at Rossi's. Centipede is also saying again, he's proud of you, big brother. So, you know.
Yeah. I'm appreciate them thing then. And as I say, why I tell you, especially in this music thing, I think I wish I could have even come and them a time and them attack the youth them down at Rossi's because I'm going to tell you that thing. You know, I have had students, I have learned on the craft, the production and the touring part of it, because there's many aspects of the music. So I can't take on all right. I say the publisher and everything, I may know about it, but and me not take on everything because me alone can't do it. But you know, I've had experience where I taught a girl, she should live in Canada now, give her the experience, tell her things what the do's and not to do about touring. And you know, some years ago, she was traveling and she saw a book, and she bought it. The book was saying the do's and don'ts of touring. And she said when she bought the book, she called me from Canada. And she said, "Why she was disappointed?" I said, "Disappointed? Why?" Because she said, "Why she's come like she wastes her money?" Because she said everything that's in the book, we taught her. I taught her all of that already. I said, "Well, at least you have the book now, so you can share the book with somebody."
Else.
Yeah, because there's certain aspect of the music where and you can't go to university and learn it. You have to actually learn it on the road. You know what I mean? Because when you travel, the laws of America are different from the laws of Europe, the laws of Japan, and all of them things. So you know, when you travel in place, they have to know all those things. You know.
So your knowledge got increased a lot just by traveling. But
Yes,
I want
man.
to look at this present day now, COVID, the pandemic. How do you see it affecting or progressing the music? You know, look at the pros and the cons.
Well, you know, incidentally, it was this morning. This morning, I sent an email to a promoter I know in Zurich, and she was happy to hear from me. And she's telling me, "Boy, it's bad because what has happened now? They have restricted the amount of person that you can put in a venue. So if for example, a venue can hold, a club can hold 1,000 people, you're not allowed to put in more than 500, and that 500 includes employees.
Wow.
So for us as international artists, it's not feasible for us to travel and do gigs because the airfare, the transportation. I mean, if some place you can only put 250 people, it can't pay the bill. So we are stuck here in Jamaica as international. We are considered international at the moment. So it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm telling you, most of the guys have to be doing this virtual thing, but the real fans don't really like this virtual thing, but they have to just, because of the times, people have to just live with the times and just work with it,
Do you think there's a way to overcome it?
No, we can't overcome it. Cause what they're even doing in Germany, when I speak to one of my like people like Gentlemen, and you remember the days when he used to go, they used to have drive-in theater. Yeah, that's how they're doing some of the shows now. You drive with your car.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
And it's imagine, listen, I used to play with Grateful Dead. We see 80,000 deadheads. How are you gonna pack 80,000, 70,000 people in a place and telling about physical distancing. That's not
Yeah,
possible.
that's true. That's true.
That's not
Very
possible.
true.
You know, that's the only place I know we could go right now. And I don't, it might even not even too feasible because we go in Tokyo. We have a venue. It's called the Blue Note. When you go to the Blue Note,
Yes.
we play like 4 shows. You know, like 4 nights, but it's like 8 shows. You know, because these Japanese people, they are rich. They have not enough money, so they pay like $300 a ticket, and you play for
Wow.
like 45 minutes and break, and then you go back and play another 45 minutes. So you do 2 shows per night. But we have to do like 4 nights to
Wow.
maximize the amount of people that wants to come. So
So it appears then, yeah. Yes, go ahead.
it's gonna be difficult. Trust me, it's gonna be difficult. I don't see how we're gonna, and I'm telling you, I've been speaking to all my contacts in Italy, in France, in Germany, in Spain, and wow. And the thing is, some of them are telling me this virus thing it doesn't even look like it is getting
Any
the
better?
situation is not getting any better over there. So I don't know. We just wait and see, man, and hope.
I mean, that's the best we can do for this moment. Just hope that everything gets better, and to practice social distancing, whatever the CDC or whoever is in charge is asking us to do, just to ensure that we preserve our life and our families and friends and loved
Yes.
ones and other persons around us.
Yes, man. Exactly.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Now I want to touch on another point. You're now introduced to the Brosis Foundation, because we're about to wrap up now. So I just want to get these points out there and to hear your views on it. What you might not have in-depth discussion, I'm not sure of what Brosis is really about, but based on your knowledge, how do you see it assisting anyone?
Well, yeah, what happened now? I cannot get this synopsis of what it is all about. And personally, I gotta tell you, I endorse it and I appreciate it most, because I was a bit concerned when I saw in April this guy who died. I don't know him, because there's after my name was Pirate.
Yes.
And
Fabian Lawrence.
Yes, Fabian Lawrence. When I read his story, and I saw the other people saying condolences and whatever. I was like, asking the question is like, so where was all the assistance before we got to this? Because I'm not one. You see, I'm not one of the person who believe in this posthumously awarded stuff, and I don't believe in it. I mean, if you're a soldier and you die accidentally, then okay. But when I'm alive, you tell me the good things and do the good things for me. So I endorse this platform, and I think it's a great move, because another one of my philosophy in life is that if all of us as humans wake up and say, I'm gonna do one good deed every day, then this world would be a wonderful place.
Yes.
You understand me? So I endorse this Brosis when I get to understand what it's all about. I mean, you cannot save everyone, but we will do our best to assist and guide the ones to come, because the mistake that Pirate made, I could have gone down that road, because remember, I'm into music and entertainment, and when you get into those fields, you see those things, they come to you readily and fast.
Yes.
And if you don't come from a strong background, you can get easily entangled in those things. So we have to use these platforms to try and guide the youth them, whether at Russies or the youth them around I and I, to show them, say, listen, there's 2 ways, there's the right way and the wrong way. And in life, any part that you choose, you have to, any decision that you make, you have to live with the consequences. So we have to try and guide the youth them to make the right decision, because we have the experience, we have been there, done that. So them should learn from I and said, no, them man do the right thing, and this is where them reach. So let's try emulate them man and see if we can reach there.
So just to piggyback on that, what would you say to persons who are probably on the fence now, thinking, just like you were thinking, they're still thinking, what is this about? Should I be a part of it? What should I really support this foundation? What would you say to these persons?
All right. Hear what happened now. I would say to people, they must support this foundation to the best of the best of their ability. And the persons who are in charge of this thing, they will be as transparent as possible so that people know that. You know, we as people, we are very suspicious of one another, you know. Yes. But I know that the people, well, I know Try, and Try is a man of integrity. I know them, you for them little bit. I mean, and I know say what Try is about is a good move. And we just want the rest of people them for just join on, and who can give them like 2 cents, just give them like 2 cents. Because every mickle make a muckle, you know.
Yes.
You can't see everybody, but we will see it some.
That's true.
You understand me?
No, and that brings me to the point of, you know, this might be my final question to you. Giving back. How do you see yourself, in what capacity? I mean, you can answer it however you feel comfortable. In what capacity do you think you can give back through the Brosis to maybe Rossies, to any student? Do you think you can maybe help guiding, like, you know, the do's and the don'ts of touring, like you help with that young lady? What other capacity do you think you would be able to help in?
Well, I'm going to tell you this now. I will be helping, because myself and John Campbell and, you know, Anthony Marks and some other man, we have I initiated a charity organization, see, down in Louisville. We started out as sports, but we are including sports and the general upliftment of the being, of the human being. It's not just go up and play football. And what happened now, because of my travels, especially in Europe, I've reached out to people in Europe who are willing. So it's just for me now to get the things. I mean, because people want to send me a lot of things, bicycles, computers, and all of them things there where them can get in Europe. So I am willing, when the time come around, when I get those things, because our plan with me and Anthony and, you know, and with someone, if I have excess of anything, the first person, set of person will get in is my school, my alma mater, because Rossies and the Steve Buckners and the Anthony Marks and all of them, man, they made me what I am. Yes. You understand me? So it's all fair, because listen, as I tell you, when I got the world, you know, and I remember, I just put in this a little punch. I went to Madagascar, and when I went outside, I see hundreds of people outside at the airport, and I was like, weird, so much people come for meet me, but guess what? Those people weren't there to meet me. Those people were there at their work, because not workers working, but they were just there. Everybody that came off the plane and then just go and beg. And beg them this and beg them that. You know what I mean? And I tell you, there are them things that bring tears to my eyes. So when I go to Brazil and see people, you know what I mean, hungry, and some little, and most little youth, yo, man. So as I say, I am willing. If it come to when it comes to music, I will, you know, teach and guide them, and any other things I can do, I am willing. I mean, I Kingston still, and the kind of, but you know, far if I reach Hanover.
No, still the same island.
yeah, man, still the same island. Man, they're gonna drive, go down there and drive, come back in a one day and then go play football, man. So
no. Yeah, man. I promise I would ask you that one question, but we're gonna have, this is my final question to you, and then we go to the close remarks. I know, but we just have an hour and time, you know. Yeah, so in the interest of time, what would you say to the youths, are both male and female? You know, what would you say to them in this day?
All right, you see, in this time now, what I would say to the youth, them say, this world has now become a smaller place in terms of technology.
Very interesting.
So we have to usurp all the technology that is here for, for the good, because we have a necessary evil that is called social media. But some of
Yes.
us don't use it for the right means and the right cause. So we must use it because this world, yeah. And one of the things I want to say to all youth who go school now, don't be like me who have to go to the road, go learn a foreign language.
Yes.
Learn it in a school. See? So it can help you, because this world is so small now that you go down the road and it's a man that need assistance, and language become a barrier. You understand me? So I will say
Yes.
to the youth, them going to school, use up all your time to the best of your ability. If you don't understand something, check somebody who knows and who been there and done that, because
Absolutely.
experience is something that can't be taught in school.
Yes. Absolutely.
You understand me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Rossi's Brosis, you've heard it from the man himself, Norman Dewey Reid. You know, he
Yes.
had taken his time and he's here with us to share, and he had shared with us so much that even more than we expected, you know, and he's laying it on the line, you know. Rossi's Brosis, try, he was the president. We are a foundation, and this is you right now speaking to me live, and you are saying that you are willing to help and to do whatever it takes just to ensure that we get to where we want to go, just like the mission statement said. So, you know, you can, I will leave you with the final word, and then we just we close it up.
Well, all right. Finally, I go and say to remind them all my brethren that I grew up with. Why,
Yes.
unfortunately, when I want to talk to the item, because of circumstances, I have to make an overseas call. But so it goes still. We still a link. And, you
Yes.
know, as virgins and virgins, don't feel no way if we call and encourage a man. And if there's an issue, you know, just remember the words of I man: integrity,
Yes. Yes.
honesty, and loyalty. Those are man.
Integrity, honesty, and loyalty.
Those are the words and the mantra that I live by, and it has taken me right through this music business for 40 years. Because if I could talk to you about this music thing for the next 2 hours, and I
I
still
know.
don't done it. You understand? Because so much man we have, but because of because of the thing that was instilled in me in Rossi's, to be honest and be loyal, it has taken
Yes.
me all across the globe and all across the world, where many times I have to be the person goes become the go between an artist and a promoter, where I don't even know the people, but they just call somebody and say, boy, they want to send some money to this man, but they don't know him. And a man said, no, man, send it to Mr. Reid and he will make sure it's everything all right. So the
Yes.
honesty there and the integrity there, make we live by the mantra there. See? And
Yes.
everything will be irate, just like that.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Rossi's Brosis family, you've heard it from the man himself, Norman Dewey Reid. So, you know, I want to thank you for sharing with us. I want to thank you for taking the time out. You know, you didn't have to, you were busy, but you still found time to talk with us. And I want to say thank you on behalf of Rossi's Brosis. Thank you for being with us this afternoon.
Yes, man. And as I say, whosoever come on later, I see this story, let's make an effort to make sure, say, this thinger, this programmer grows from strength to strength, and youngsters can join in, so that when we, the older one, have to go park around the corner, them can just continue. You understand?
Yes.
Because just a little point, when I see the KCs and the GSCs and the Walmarts, I saw them on this day, sometimes the choice get all obnoxious, especially KC man. Them. But I want to
Yes.
reach to that stage where, you
Yes.
know, when a man say Russian,
Yes.
and you help him out. You understand
Yes.
me? I saw the thing for go, man.
It's
Bless
a
him.
legacy. It's called a
Yes, I.
legacy. Let's
Yes,
continue
I.
the legacy. Okay.
Yes, I.
Well, Rossi's Brosis, once again, Rossi's Empowerment Hour. We look forward to see you again next week. This is your host, Darwin, saying thank you for taking the time out. Viewers and subscribers, hope to see you next week when we will talk to someone very important, very inspiring, and the interview might just be as educational as we all always try to do. Thank you again, sir, for taking the time with us. And thank you, viewers, for watching. And we look forward to see you again soon, Mr. Reid.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
Yes, man. Blessings.
Aye, aye.
Bless up.
Yeah, man. Yeah.